to reach military families. So I put my life out there. I'm not a secret agent. I'm not a secret military supporter. I've taken a lot of heat over the year for being so outspoken for our military and our law enforcement. But I will tell you that anybody who is working with military can see through it immediately. If you are there and you just want the clout of working with military, they will see through it. And if you can't stand up and be outspoken to support your family or your friends or the military, and you shrink back when people come at you about it, that's something that will immediately turn off the military. So the other thing that I would say is I don't give out any information. I run campaigns. I ran a TikTok campaign, and it started with law enforcement, then it went into military, and we sent 100 different boxes to different family members. But because I had been on there for so long and I had put up 500 videos and I had made connections with all these families offline, they would just give me their kids' addresses, their husbands' addresses, here, send these boxes. And so I had people asking me all the time, hey, can you just give me a couple addresses and we'll go ahead and send our own boxes. It doesn't work that way. You don't give out personal information. You don't break that. So you can find ways to have them be involved and send in items. That's what we did. Schools would write letters to military and they would send them all to me. I have a PO box. So they would send everything and families would see this, and it takes time. So I started, doing these long before when I was working for the Highway Patrol, and it's just because it's who we are and what we support and what our family's like. So we did this. And so it was natural when I transitioned into real estate. I told all of these families, hey, I belong to a network of realtors that are blue line and military. They understand you. They will help you. And so that's how it started, was people would reach out to me and say, hey, listen, my kids, they're PCSing. Like, what do we do? And so you had mentioned to me that somebody didn't know what PCS meant. And it was like, okay, and it's like, well, it's really hard when a parent just reaches out or texts you and says, my kids need help.
Okay, guys, for those in the audience who may not know what that means, can anyone tell them what PCS means?
Permanent change of station. Right. So it's one of those things, though, that it's important to know, like Frank said, it's important to know what you're talking about. Just like when you were going to go meet with somebody and they're asking you about, title and escrow or attorney or anything on the RPA. If you don't know what you're talking about in military too, they will know, and so it's knowing what you're talking about when you're talking about military families and, knowing how to help them. So I've had people reach out to me, and then I put it up on eXp World, and I'll say, listen, I need an agent in this area that works with military. I never say just an agent. I always say works with military. And I will jump on the phone and I'll talk with them and say, hey, this is the position that we're in. What do you think you can do? And then I'll connect them, and I stay connected the entire time. I don't get in anyone's business, but I stay connected the entire time. And it matters. It matters to those families that you're connecting them with somebody who has military experience. And I always get phone calls back. I always get messages back saying, thank you so much. This has been great. Thank you so much. They understand, And so, I printed one out this morning really quick, and I got one from being on social media, and it just said, hey, I saw your social media post and wanted to, well, it didn't. It said, good afternoon, Mrs. Yeager, because it's super formal. I saw your social media posts and wanted to reach out to see if you might be able to help us in the right direction. I'm currently stationed in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I have orders to move to Marine Corps Air Station blank. I've already started looking at the housing market in the area, but I'm noticing it looks like it's going to be very difficult to find the right home due to the way the market is moving and our VA loan. I was wondering if there's anything you can do or how to help me in the right direction. Anybody that could assist me and my family as we transition. Very respectfully, Major Constance. So in response to that, I got in touch with some people, and it's also knowing that when you respond back to them, you don't just say, hey, Mark, sure, I can help you. No, it's, hey, Major Constance, good afternoon, Major Constance. Yes, thank you so much for reaching out. It worked out beautifully. I was able to connect them. And then he wrote back, yes, ma'am, thank you so much. We're very excited and extremely happy. We appreciate you so much. Thank you for connecting me with Susan and Brenda. They were an absolute pleasure to work with. My family is overjoyed, and we owe it all to you. Very respectfully, Major Constance. So it's knowing how to talk to people, it's knowing how to connect them, and it's staying connected the entire time. So you can't just shove a military family off on somebody and say, okay, I'm done, there's a referral fee. It's keeping in communication with that agent all the way through, and then they close. And then you've built that relationship. So for me, it starts from social media and it goes all the way through the process to closing. Right. So that's kind of how I've used it.
Right. So Frank, tell me a little bit. What are some of the ways that you access military bases and personnel, and maybe things that you're doing in your community to be able to provide value?
Yeah. Well, when I started working with the military, we didn't have social media, so we were doing a lot of mail and postcards and magazines and things like that. And that still works today. Don't get me wrong. But yes, like Ken said, Sienna said, the social media is key to really getting your foot in the door, to let them know that you back them, you support them, because in today it is challenging. There's a lot of pros and cons when it comes to military and police. But one thing that we've done, or actually a couple things, is start working with some of the local military organizations, whether it's the VA or the VFW, or even some of the schools have Military Appreciation Week or things like that, where you can get involved. And what we've done on our team is create a similar look, because if you look at the military, they all have uniforms. There is no differentiation. Everybody's the same in the military. So what we did is went out and got tan camo t-shirts, altered our logo a little bit to be a little bit more militarized, and we wore that in jeans to every event we ever went to. So we wanted them to kind of fit in, so to speak. And when we were either doing a volunteer or helping out with a program or doing a promotional education event, all these things are really beneficial and well accepted and well received from the military community if they're structured right. I know Fort Hood is very tight on and very difficult to get in, especially when you're doing outside marketing. And it changes from year to year. Sometimes you can go and get a pass and do certain marketing events with certain organizations. I'll tell you one thing that you definitely will not do, and you'll get in big trouble for, is going on any military post and going door to door or mailing directly to the houses. It's just frowned upon, and they will definitely let you know. So definitely, be wary if you're thinking about doing any direct marketing on post. Make sure you go through the right channels. Start with, the front gate, which a lot of the gates now are civilian, so they won't know. But if you can get the MWR or the Out Processing Center, any of those are a good starting point to start asking questions and see who the right point of contact is.
Yeah, Frank, oftentimes there's events and things that are on military base posts, everything, stations, and you brought up NWR. For those who don't know, that's Morale, Welfare, and Recreation, I believe. Right. And they'll do a lot of events, sometimes on the military base or off. And you maybe have a family day, you might have an education or job fair, that oftentimes, if you have been in communication with the leader of those organizations, you have the opportunity to participate after you've been vetted, or pay to participate and have a booth. I know sometimes we've been on family day and, we do the games and the things for the kids, and we get the opportunity to have our branding and our signage. But, those are unique opportunities. Bruce, are there other groups or any other ways that you're reaching out into your community, to be able to have access and be able to help military families?
I guess if I turn my mic on, you probably can hear me. Sure, I do a lot of volunteering in the community. I coach a AAU basketball team, which has a lot of military children on it. I'm also the president of a nonprofit, which is called the Buffalo Soldiers Motorcycle Club. And anytime somebody asks me for my card, I actually give them my civilian card, my real estate card, for a reason, because if I do something on post, I'm not allowed to solicit. So whatever you do on post, make sure you don't solicit. But when I meet people on post, because I will be honest, I meet at least 10 soldiers a day. I have a slogan say, if I don't meet, I don't eat. I meet at least 10 soldiers a day. And it's just to say, hey, thank you for your service, and get on my card and say, if I can ever do anything for you, feel free to give me a call. And out of that networking right there, I get clients all the time that would like to call me and find out, hey, how can I buy a house with my VA loan? How can I do this, or how can I do that? But at the first introduction, I never try to sell them anything, tell them I'm a real estate agent. They'll see it on my card and go from there. I do more of letting them know what I had to do with the military. I'm a retired W-4, and now I'm a civilian. You know, what that sound mean? I'm going too long?
No, you're fine. You shouldn't have any problems. we do not have a hook and crook to pull you off. You're good. So,
Okay.
Well,
I'm just checking, but one of the other things that I do, to be honest, because if you remember that people don't care how much you know till they know how much you care. I also assist veterans with their VA loans, not VA loans, with their VA claims, because a lot of them, VA is what we call G14 classified. And once they know that you can help them with other things like that, they'll trust you enough to come back, purchase a home, or refer you out to other people to help them purchase a home.
Right. Just for the crowd that's watching along with us, I did, and I'll put it in the feed again. I have uploaded the handout for marketing the military groups so that you can look at that. Oh, somebody's got a call. It's business ringing. But we talked a little bit about how we access military group spaces, things like that. There are outside groups that are maybe, credit unions that are located off base or posts that serve. You can also get involved with local veteran groups like VFW, American Legion, the DAV, Purple Heart Society, some of those, especially if you're, like Bruce said, helping folks with, trying to get through that challenge of, getting your VA benefits lined up. I know we had a couple of folks mention they're doing investment workshops, kind of like what David Gwilt is going to be talking about later today, talking about how to, hack your VA loan and use it for investing. So there's a lot of things that you could offer. And that kind of brings us to, I think we talked about some activities, military spouse appreciation days. You can host those on events off base or off post. Could be wine and paint, holiday shopping, those kind of things. I've seen groups do that, but getting the word out. Go ahead, Sierra.
I was going to say, I reached out to my BFW, and obviously I don't qualify to be part of it, but they, I called the president and sat down and had coffee with them. And so now they just treat me like, I'm their realtor. And I met him, we went out for coffee, and like this weekend, our town puts up hundreds of flags around the cemetery area, and the whole streets are lined with them, and they always need people, so they said, hey, can you get some realtors to come help put these flags up and down, on the same day. They do amazing things here in town. They just got a new flag depository. They said, we want to figure out how to tell people in our town, this is where you bring your flags. So we went over there and made a post about it, took photos, do whatever you can to support them without, like Bruce said, you don't have to ask for business, just put yourself out there and bring value and it will come. So you can do, you can do that. You can do, I'm big on showing what's in my town, and I will ask anybody what's a veteran owned business. So we have a barbershop here, and everybody who cuts hair is a vet. And we brought them in there, and I highlighted them on social media, put them on my stories. We go in there. That's where the kids get their haircut. They had no idea that I was a realtor. I didn't say anything about it. And now they follow me, and they called. And the last time we went in, she said, hey, we need a house. So it's just bringing without expecting anything. It's just constantly supporting, hey, go make a post about these are our veteran owned businesses, or a video, putting it up in their story. Like Bruce said, schools always have something. We have a huge VA department here. Go in and ask. Just say, what do you guys need? There's always, I don't know about you guys, but our VA here, or VFW, will do food drives. Use your business to do a food drive. Everybody will collect it, or do a client appreciation event. Do one for your vets in town.
Right.
Yeah.
So we're going to be doing that at 4th of July. It's like, hey, let's do one, because every town I know has a food bank of some kind for vets.
Yeah.
So keep it full during Thanksgiving time.